Tonight on Superman Live, James Gunn answers more questions about the Superman Legacy shoot and reveals a pretty cool image when it comes to that, and also answers the question about the Superman Elseworlds movie that is going to be produced by JJ Abrams, and said, yes, it's still in production, and we have somebody who claims they know details about the Superman costume, and that's interesting. Is the Batman Part 2 in trouble? Let's talk about that. Box office, not really anything happened at the box office. Well, one in particular thing happened. Let's just say the hierarchy of the DCU did change. Christopher Reeve's kids get asked about the Superman cameo in The Flash. That's all CGI. So they answer, and a lot of people, well, we'll go over that. All that and so much more tonight on Film Junkie Live. Yeah, the Superman costume thing, pretty interesting. But yeah, the Elseworlds. 2 Superman movies? 2 Batman movies? Where's that money coming from, WB? Tom Cruise?
Now you want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts.
Here I am. Am I working? We're good. What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Film Junkie Live. It's Monday. It's January 22nd. The rain has stopped. The rain has stopped. It was pouring today. And we Southern California, crazy storm, crazy winter storm. that totally forgot about, and I thought it was just going to be the weekend, and then I woke up this morning, it was raining, then it stopped, and then it started pouring like an hour and a half ago, but it seems to have let up. So, hey, no rain. There's always, you always get kind of worried. Southern California can't really handle rain, so, sometimes you get worried like, oh, is the power going to go out? Something going to happen? Who knows? But hey, we're good. We're good. Anyways, guys, how we doing? How's it going, guys? Let's see who's out there. How we doing today? We got Ryan right here. How's it going, buddy? How you doing? Good to see you. We got Mr. Nobody right here. We got Mr. Fear Jason. Good to see you. Who else we got? We got Reign of Superman across the Superverse. Yeah, okay. I don't think that's gonna happen. Not anytime soon. Aquaman. Yeah, well, I mean, that's what we're gonna talk about when it comes to the box office, right? Game City Savior. Hey, Dave, I don't get it. Why Geeks and Gamers always talking about the gay agenda, but at the same time, these guys don't like girls in movies? That's a good point. You know what? I mean, that's kind of like an interesting way to look at it. I don't know. Like, I mean, I get they have their old shtick, and I would even gladly welcome any one of those guys onto the Vodka stream because I'm all about open discussion, even if I, with people that I don't fully agree with everything, and I know their whole shtick is a certain kind of like, okay, we go hard over here. But, I think a couple of them I follow, and we follow each other, to be honest. So, but I know it's like one of those touchy kind of things. But, I mean, I would gladly just be like, hey, let's have a conversation when it comes to all this nerdy stuff and whatever the hell. But, that is, you bring up a funny thing right there. But, yeah. Maybe we should have a Vodka stream one of these times. I don't know. But I know they do a stream on Friday as well too, so they probably want to stream with somebody little like me, right? I don't know, who knows. Anyways, what's going on, Axel? What up, Dave and chat? I won't be here for long since I'm seeing my partner today. Okay, interesting. You said partner, so I'm like, okay. I don't know if you mean like, okay, is it okay? Well, I won't ask questions there, Axel. It's fine. It's good. What's going on, Eric? 80s action music, Dave, with aviators, black leather jacket, and a machine gun, schooling the T-1000s. I like that. What's kind of funny is like when it comes to, because I have Sling TV. I've been using Sling TV when it comes to watching football mainly. I got the Red Zone on there. It was fairly cheap, and I was like, all right, cool. But obviously the football season's ending, so I'm probably going to just cancel that because it's like, I don't need regular TV. But one of the channels that I watch frequently is Comet TV. And, mainly for just old, X-Files mainly. They play X-Files at night. So pretty much when I get done here, I put on X-Files on there, and then I make my dinner and do all my stuff before I go to bed. But I've noticed like on the weekends and certain times I'll put on these like crazy B-roll movies, and I enjoy them because they're so bad. Like I watched one last night called Giant Piranha or Mega Piranha. That's what it was called. It was made like 13 years ago. And it's just kind of funny when I see these B-roll movies, because, they'll have like the cliche kind of stuff, and just certain things. I don't know why I'm talking about that right here when you're talking about it's not 80s, but I don't know. I was just like, my head went to that direction right there. So, but when it comes to like music and all that kind of stuff, and it's like they try to emulate certain things, but it really is really, really bad when it comes to some of these B-roll movies. But there's a whole market for it. That's what fascinates me about the B-roll action crazy movie market, is the fact that there is a market, and they've been making these ridiculous B-roll movies for so long, and I'm like, God damn, how do these movies get made? And it's like the stories, if this was with the right director, an actual studio, these stories could be cool, but no. I mean, these movies are made with like a probably like a $500,000 budget, but you know, what can you do? Anyways, this music reminds me of Batman and Robin Adventures game. Oh, there you go. I like that. There you go. What's going on, Phil? Good to see you, buddy. Ahoy, hoy, Mr. Jason McKenzie. Always great to see you, my friend. Always great to see you. We got Skate and Geek Out. What's going on, man? Good to see you. All right. And let's see who else we got here. Anybody else new? Oh, yeah, there's Max right there. Hey, Dave, what up? I thought on the Elseworlds movie. Yeah, no, I don't think I'm going to watch Elseworlds movie. So, yeah. Well, I mean, technically Joker and the Batman is going to be Elseworlds. But when it comes to the Superman movie, I just don't know. Yeah, we'll get into it when we get into the topic. So it's like it's just kind of funny. It's like, oh, I forgot about that. Did anybody else just kind of like forget about it? I forgot about it. I totally forgot about. Oh yeah, there's like this one movie that's like that's been in development for how long? It's going to be produced by JJ Abrams. So it's like, all right, well. James Gunn, I see what you're doing. Okay, well, we'll talk about it when we get into the subject of that. So, let's see. Now that I think of it, it kind of do bear a passing resemblance of Kyle Reese. There you go. Hey, no, I would not. You know, Kyle Reese is great. Yes, it is. Watch it. Watch it, young squire. Okay, watch that movie. Watch the first one. The sequels, you know, obviously they're not as good, but watch the first Crow movie, okay? Do yourself a favor. And if you don't like it, you're not ever coming back on the Vodka stream. Just kidding. All right, we got Ben Everts here. Good to see you, buddy. What's going on? What's going on, man? So hopefully you guys had a good weekend. I had a pretty, like, relaxed weekend and everything because, you know, just had to, like, let's just chill. I've been doing, you know, anytime you like have a weekend where you could just stay at home and chill, it's great. And watch some playoff football. Man, the playoffs, holy Lord. It's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy playoffs. And, you know, I think the right teams probably won. You know, even though I was going for Buffalo and I was going for Tampa Bay. I was going for Buffalo and I was going for Tampa Bay, but because I like Baker Mayfield. He's a goofy motherfucker, and I like goofy guys. And, you know, he's very goofy. And I was like, maybe he could pull this off. But he didn't. But, you know, good for the Lions. Kansas City, I mean, we're kind of getting sick of Kansas City always winning. And then the whole Taylor Swift thing, you know. And I'm just kind of wondering, like, Jason Kelce, brother of Travis Kelce, you know, he outshined Taylor Swift. And I love that. If you watched the game last night, Jason Kelce outshined Miss Kelce, which was, you know, Taylor Swift, because he decided I'm going to remove my shirt, even though it's like -4 degrees outside, and I'm going to go all Bert Kreischer and just be like, let's pound beers. I wonder how fucked up he got last night. He probably got pretty trashed. But great playoff games, and yeah, just kind of chilling. And, you know, I posted a new video segment over the weekend, or, you know, yesterday, I should say. And, you know, something I'm going to start doing. I don't know how frequently I'm going to start doing it, but hopefully, hey, I got a new subscriber right there. That's cool. Yeah, I posted a new segment where I'm going to be just talking about movies and talking about facts about making those movies. And I did it on Superman 78. I figured that'd be a perfect way to start it. So if you haven't watched that yet, do yourself a favor, watch it, and, you know, learn some facts about what went into the making of Superman 78. And, you know, it's just something I thought about. I was like, you know what? I want to start doing something like that, you know, because past movies and movies that we all love, it's interesting to know what went into the making of it. And it's not like there hasn't been articles and videos that have talked about all the stuff, but, you know, I try to put my unique spin on it. Try to put my, you know, my humor into it and the way I talk about it and all that stuff. So I figured, I was like, you know what? I'm going to start doing that. And it was a lot of fun to make. You know, it was like interesting how, like, you know, I had to figure out the process of doing that, you know, and that's one of the things as being like a YouTuber is like, okay, you want to like do something different. All right, let me try to do something like that, you know. And I thought, cool. And I will be, I mean, I think I'm going to tackle, at first I'm going to tackle the superhero genre when it comes to some of these movies, but then I'll veer off because I don't want to just do the superhero genre. But I'll like start off with the superhero genre. Like I think Batman 89 might be the next one right there. But then of course there's the sequels to Superman and everything. So, you know, I'm going to do all that. And yeah, so look forward to more of those videos. I thought it was a lot of fun to make and, you know, really just dive into all that. Oh, do I have my favorite fan right there? Fabian doing his, oh, he's added, okay, he's added another hashtag, guys. Watch out. He's added another hashtag. So we got Restore the Snyderverse, Fire James Gunn, Boycott Superman Legacy, and Make Man of Steel 2 with Cavill. That's a new one. Well, there you go. I like it. All right, cool. You got a new, we got a new hashtag, everybody. Make MOS 2 with Cavill. So if you're trying to wonder like what the newest hashtags are when it comes to all this, that's the newest one. So, I mean, obviously, you know, we'll be talking about a lot of Superman stuff like that, but that's the newest one. I didn't know that was out there. You know, I always try to ask some of these guys, like, what's the latest hashtag? Because it seems like every other week there's a new hashtag when it comes to all of this stuff, and we'll see what happens. But you know, hey, hopefully Fabian is going to be watching Argyle. Argyle's coming out soon. Support Henry Cavill when it comes to that, because that is his new movie. Hopefully you'll be, you know, tweeting about that and talking about that, like, hey, go watch Argyle. You know, it's Henry Cavill. We got to support him, and I want to support him, and you know, I'm going to see that movie. So hopefully you will too. So if we support Cavill, maybe they'll get that Man of Steel 2 as well. But you know, we'll see what happens. But also thank you to let me do that right here. We got Untold right here, being that member. Thank you for being a member. What's going on, man? Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. That super was awesome. Yeah. I appreciate that, Phil. You know, I just thought it was kind of fun. I mean, like I said, you know, you just kind of just go, you find the information, you hope it's legit, you know, and I didn't get every little bit of information because I wanted to keep it to, you know, a certain amount, but you know, it was fun. It was definitely fun. It was fun to make that. It was definitely fun to make that. So I'm going to keep on doing those videos because, you know, it's just, you know, because I always talk about the latest news and doing all this, and I love doing this, but you know, but you want to like take a break. That's why I love that when I do DC Fanimated with Scott, you know, it's not talking about current stuff. It's just talking about past stuff. You know, it's fun to talk about past stuff. So, but yeah, I'll be doing more of those. So anyways, all right. I've been rambling way too much at the start of this. Let's see what's going on in the world here. Let's go to some tweets that I've picked out. And, you know, I mean, there's plenty to talk about when it comes to things that have happened in this past week. And, you know, obviously we're all very excited. I'm very excited. The first thing I wanted to talk about was this right here when it came to good old Deadpool 3. Oh boy, look at that image right there. What? Should I be showing this image? I don't know. But, you know, Deadpool Updates posted this on, you know, 3 days ago, and it hasn't gotten taken down. I don't think Marvel Studios actually gives a shit, because one of the benefits about Marvel Studios is the fact that they don't copyright, unless it's something very, very like, hey, we don't want people to know that. But Marvel Studios utilizes the social media game and the leak game. And here we go right here. We have an image right here, a promo image, promotional art of Deadpool and Wolverine. And yes, Hugh Jackman wearing the full-on costume, of course, with the claws out and also with the mask on that we've already seen. We've already seen that mask, and it's right there. And come on. This movie, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. It just seems like this movie is going to kind of save the MCU, because the MCU has been struggling a little bit. This movie's definitely going to, it's definitely gonna save some universe stuff. And yeah, I just absolutely I love this image right here, and I'm like, cool. How much more are we gonna get? And can't wait. And he's got the white eyes too. I mean, you have to do the white eyes, right? You have to do the white eyes with the Wolverine mask. You can't just have Deadpool have the white eyes and not have Wolverine have the white eyes. You know, you have to have that. So I love that. So it's just, I can't wait for the marketing. I mean, the marketing's technically already started, but I can't wait for more. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be absolutely insane when it comes to that movie, man. I tell you, whoo-wee. Movie's going to do wonders. It's going to do wonders. All right. Let's see here. I wanted to talk about something that's actually current next. If I could find it. There it is right here. All right. So, Netflix, Scott Stuber. Uh-oh. Did you guys see this right here? Scott Stuber. In a shocker, Scott Stuber is leaving Netflix. Chairman of Netflix Film since 2017, he will be leaving in March to start his own media company. Oh, my God. So should we start freaking out? Well, not really. But one of the things that, that had me kind of worried when it came to this, big supporter of Zack and, of course, everything that he is doing with Netflix. And I did not think that this guy was actually going to exit this. But, I mean, obviously when you see that he's like, all right, he's actually going to venture off and do his own thing, it's like, okay, maybe it's not as bad. Because initially when you see that headline, you go, what the hell? What does this mean for everything? And what the hell's going on with Netflix? Well, when it comes to Netflix, from what I've gathered, from what I've heard, is the fact that Scott Stuber was always about the films. He was always about the films when it came to Netflix. And maybe it got a little too crazy because obviously the pandemic, they're like, let's throw money at whatever. Now when it comes to Netflix is probably going to scale it back from what I've heard. From what I've been told is like they'll probably most likely scale it back a little bit when it comes to the films because those cost more. And they're going to really focus on more of the series. More of the series. But yeah, I think it's going to be okay. I mean, like when I saw this, and a lot of people saw this, when it was like, okay, well, Scott Stuber obviously is a big supporter of Zack Snyder and what he's doing on Netflix. I don't think it's going to affect that. I think it's going to still be okay. Everything's going to be okay with that. Even Zack on Vero, somebody asked again if the Army of the Dead Las Vegas, is it dead or is it not? Pardon the pun, I guess. But he said, no, it's still not dead. So I think they're still going to move forward with that. This has been in the works for some time. That's what the article says. As rumors are rampant that he had a different philosophy than Netflix toppers. See, that's the thing. It seems like Scott Stuber was like, hey, let's do that. It just reminds me of like Jason Kylar a little bit. But the fact of the matter is, there's always a board. There's a board of people. I don't know if they sit in those rotating Dr. Evil chairs. I don't know. And they just show up on screens like in the Avengers. I don't know what happens, but it's like there's always like who are these people like on the top that all these other people have to report to? Are they just like a fucking Legion of Doom? What's going on here? I just don't get it. But yeah, it's like, but apparently it's like, all right, well, if you don't want to do what I want to do, I'm going to do my own thing. So that's what he's doing right here. So whose prime focus was always been to premium movies, but not everything's going to be premium on fucking streaming. But they compare it to what's going on in Apple TV with Napoleon and Killers of the Flower Moon and all that stuff. But that's the thing. It's like, when it comes to these streaming services, I mean, let's face it, Amazon and Apple are always going to have a leg up on the competition because they can afford, even though like streaming when it comes to Amazon and Apple might not always be profitable and there might not be a cash flow, but I would say that they always have, Apple has Apple products, and obviously they're always selling those products. Amazon is Amazon, so they can always like afford to pump in more money to these productions, you know? So, but Netflix doesn't have that. They're just strictly going on subscriptions, you know? So, anyway, so Scott Stuber out. He's going to be out in 2 months, I guess you could say. So, pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. So we'll see. Okay, and then now I want to, like, just as a Batman fan, and people tagged me on this video right here. This is pretty cool, and I even was like, "Hey, Matt Reeves, can we get some of this right here?" Did you guys see this? Never thought Joker skiing down a hill and Batman chasing him would go so hard. Have you seen this video? So freaking cool. I'm going to go ahead and mute that because I don't know if it's going to be copyright. But apparently some people, and this is what I love, this is why you love the internet, but we got the Joker on skis and we got Batman. We got Batman, of course, on we got Batman on a snowboard right here, and I thought that was just really cool. A lot of, a couple people tagged me on this, and it was like, yes. So I figured I'd show you guys. It's like, oh, if you guys saw that, I was like, geez, that's pretty sweet right there. You got to love that. And you also got to love this. Daredevil, and we talked about this a little bit on the Vodka stream on Friday. I mean, let's face it, when it comes to the MCU and them bringing in the Netflix shows, specifically Daredevil, I haven't watched Echo yet. I will get to it one of these days. But, we were all worried about Daredevil and its connection to the MCU. Well, I mean, this is a big, huge W right here because Philip Silvera, who was the stunt and fight coordinator on Netflix's Daredevil, is returning for Daredevil Born Again. Yes. Thank God. W. It seems like when it comes to the MCU and bringing in, like I said, Daredevil, I mean, obviously when they brought him in for, his episode when it came to She-Hulk, I thought it was fine. Charlie Cox, I love that guy. And I think we all do. He's a very likable dude. And even though, like, when it came to that, it very much, they MCU'd him. They did MCU him with his whole walk of shame and everything like that. They gave him the gold costume and whatever. But, when it comes to this whole universe, this separate part of the universe that was very much adult, we were very worried about how it was going to be coming in. But luckily, it just seems like, okay, Kevin Feige and the people at Marvel Studios, like, we can't change anything. We can't lighten this up. We got to keep it as adult as possible. I'm not saying that they're going to go full on Netflix, but I think they were really trying to water it down and try to make it as family friendly as possible. But it's like, you can't do it. You just can't do it. So it looks like for sure that it's not going to be like that. And they're just trying to get everything involved. And then, of course, they scaled down. It went from like 18 episodes to like 13 episodes or something. And even Vincent D'Onofrio said, oh, yeah, when they came up with the decision that, oh, yeah, we're going to connect it to everything that was happening in Netflix. And it was like, good, please do so. Please do so. Because I think we were all just a little freaked out when it came to all this right here. So good. So freaking good. So glad for that. We're glad for that. All right. Let me see here. What do I want to talk about next? Well, we could talk a little bit about Zack Snyder right here. What? We got a reunion right here. We got a little reunion. Oh, boy. Did I lose internet? I think we're good. Okay, I think we're good. I thought everything was like moving slowly right here. So if there's a little glitch in the matrix when it came to this right here, are we good? Oh man, I don't know. Like I said, we had a storm. Just making sure. Okay, the playback. Are we good? Uh-oh. Now we're good. I think we're good. Okay. Are we good? Or maybe my internet's just acting a little slow. Okay, just making sure. Like, again, California can't handle rain and everything. Okay, I think we're good. I don't know if we're good. The playback is not looking good. Uh-oh. Yeah, there's a glitch, right? There's a little bit of a glitch happening, but I think we're good now. All right, we had a glitch. We had a glitch in the Matrix. Okay. I think we should be good now. Okay. We're good now. Had a little glitch right here, but all right. You know why? Because, we had too much awesomeness when it came to this image that I'm showing you right now. This image of Zack Snyder and Kevin Costner. What? That's right. This is and Anthony Hopkins also in the background. So we have like 3 goats right here. That's what messed up the internet. I think that's what happened. And Zack posted this right here because he won an award. That's right. So not only did he have this right here, but yes, he won an award when it came to, let me go ahead and translate, the Joy Awards. And he had to go obviously, what was it, Dubai or something like that? I don't know. He says, this is an honor. Thank you to the excellency and everything like that. But then, of course, we have Zack Snyder doing some Zack Snyder slow-mo awesomeness when it comes to his Joy Award right here. Look at that. Woo-wee. Don't drop it, Zack. Oh, he's got it. He's good. He's fine. But yeah, pretty cool stuff right there. See, even Zack can do the slow-mo stuff when he's in front of the camera. The Joe Coy Awards? Shut up. Yeah. So, hey, Zack won an award. And there's a whole video, of course, when he accepted the award and everything like that. So, pretty cool. But yeah, he shared that right there and put that on Vero. So, congratulations to Zack Snyder. And then, of course, great image when it came to him and Kevin Costner, his Jonathan. All right. What else we got here? Got that. All right. We talked about that. All right. Jesse Eisenberg. Oh, boy. Some people took this out of context a little bit. But Jesse Eisenberg, of course, was at Sundance this past weekend. He's got a new movie with Kieran Culkin that he's promoting when it comes to the film festival that was being showed right there. And naturally, because, it's variety. It's people interviewing these actors. We have a new Lex Luthor that's going to be coming out. And of course, in Superman Legacy, which is Nicholas Hoult. So, what does Jesse Eisenberg have to say, or what advice does Jesse Eisenberg have to give Nicholas Hoult? And here's the advice right here.
Any advice for the person who will next play Lex Luthor in the reimagined DC universe?
Yeah, don't watch me.
Oh, come on. It wasn't really?
I'd probably give that advice.
Yeah. Don't watch me, which was the main thing that people focused on when it comes to that. Especially people who do not like his Lex Luthor. So they were doing that, and when headlines were out there, it was just, that was the main thing, was don't watch me. Don't watch me. But you have to hear the entire quote. Hear the entire quote.
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the next guy playing Amadeus. Yeah, don't watch me. Yeah.
Did you feel connected to that character very much?
Yeah, whenever you play a role, you feel connected to it because there's really no way around it. If you give over your emotional experience to a fictional thing,
sure,
you have this weird Pavlovian response to it. So of course, anytime you do anything, even if it looks like a movie that's what is it called? Like a Hollywood kind of thing. Sure. It's still, you feel all those things.
Do you think that's something you'll flex about in front of your kids one day, having played Lex Luthor?
I can tell you right now, my child's not going to be interested in that.
So, when it comes to this, it's make it your own. He's yeah. Don't watch me or even previous. Don't watch Gene Hackman. Don't watch Rosenbaum. Don't watch these guys. Don't watch that. Make it your own kind of thing. So, of course, naturally, people were making it be oh, yeah, not even Jesse Eisenberg likes his own portrayal of Lex Luthor. It's no, I don't think that's it. I think he was just kind of yeah, don't watch him. Do your own thing. Nicholas Hoult, do your own thing. And I think that's good advice, to be honest, because let's face it, Nicholas Hoult won't even be the last Lex Luthor that we see in live action. We're going to see another one. We got John Cryer, who's been the recent Lex Luthor. And then there's been another Lex Luthor when it comes to Superman and Lois. I can't remember the actor's name right now off the top of my head. But, yeah, it's don't watch. Come up with your own thing. If you know the character and you're going to research the character and look at the source material, which is, of course, the comic books, and you're going to take your own, okay, so how can I make this unique to the story? Hey, you can make it. And I know, and I get it. People did not like Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor, but I think for what Zack Snyder wanted in BVS and how he manipulated and everything and was a more modern day, more of like a birthright Lex Luthor, I think he actually did a very good job. I don't think he was criticizing. I mean, maybe he was a little bit criticizing his portrayal of it because he seems like one of those actors that kind of goes like, I don't like to watch myself. And sometimes I get, I remember like recently, like a few weeks ago, or it was a little bit ago, where he said that he kind of gets anxiety when it comes to his certain roles and everything like that. And he's an interesting, and a little bit of a weird dude. Maybe he was a little bit criticizing it, but I think for the most part, he was just kind of going like, hey, don't watch what I did, do your own thing. To me, that's good advice. I don't know how you guys feel, but I think that's good advice. I think that's good advice, to be honest. He's right. Good advice, right? Good advice. I'm glad you guys, some of you guys agree right there, so. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy, guys. When it comes to this right here, dun 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 da 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 da. We're getting another Jurassic World. What? I thought this franchise was going to take a break for a little bit, but apparently not. Because Universal is deep into development of an all-new Jurassic World. Did I say all-nude? I might have said that. Maybe that's a way to sell the movie if you say all nude. Well, technically the dinosaurs don't wear any clothing, so it is all nude. But yes, Jurassic World movie, but this time it's going to be written by David Coep, who of course did the original. He wrote the original. So a little light at the end of that Jurassic tunnel right there. But yeah, this was one of the big things that happened today when it came to movie news. So now the question is, who is returning? Chris Pratt? Bryce Dallas Howard? Jeff Goldblum? I mean, it seemed like Jurassic World Dominion was supposed to be that, okay, we're bringing all the worlds together and like, holy crap, but didn't quite work, even though it made over $1 billion. It's weird because that movie, that sequel, made over $1 billion. It made over $1 billion. Yet people don't really talk about it anymore. For being $1 billion movie, they don't really talks about that because I think when it came to them trying to bring the OGs and of course the new Gs together, it didn't quite work like people were hoping it would work. I don't know. So, who knows? Sam Neill going to come back? I don't know. But at least we got the writer. He's a good writer. We'll see what happens, though, man. I don't know. Just seems like let's give that franchise a break a little bit, huh? Can we give that franchise a break just a little bit? Maybe? I don't know. You don't think they're, full frontal, yeah. Full frontal dinosaurs happening. I mean, let's face it. I don't know. Anytime I've watched a Jurassic Park, I haven't seen any, things dangling from them. Anyways, all right. Is that all I wanted to talk about? No, that's not all I wanted to talk about because we had a couple other things. Well, let's see here. Well, there was one thing that I wanted to talk about when it came to a sequel. When it came to a sequel to a movie, because we've all been anxiously waiting for a sequel to this movie right here. And, we'll see what happens. And it's been in development hell forever. But, yeah, that's right, guys. We're going to finally get to see TREN Title. What? I don't know what that means. Why the fuck would you make the O a 3? It doesn't make sense. What are you doing here? Oh my God. You have potential to make a great third movie, because I don't care what anybody says, Tron Legacy is still a pretty fantastic follow-up to the first Tron. I don't care what anybody says, and I hope Jeff Bridges somehow shows up in this one too. Maybe he will. I don't know what they're actually going to be doing. Are they going to steer away from that story? I don't know. Who knows? But the fact of the matter is whoever decided to put a 3 in the title, you're fired. You're fucking fired. You're fired. Ugh. They're going to get rid of that because people are not digging that. They're not digging that. And Gillian Anderson, you know, Scully, X-Files, she's going to be in it. They just announced that today. She got cast in it. So, hey, get some Gillian Anderson. I don't mind that. I like Gillian Anderson, but yeah, get rid of the 3 in there. It doesn't even make sense. Okay, because usually when the dumb studios turn a letter into a 3, it's an E. Okay? And you turn an O into an E, it doesn't work. Stop it. I know because you got the Tron font that's happening. You're like, oh, we're going to pull a fast one here. No, it didn't work. It doesn't work. Stop it. Ugh. Ugh. And then finally, before we get into the main topic, something else that doesn't work when it comes to movies. Having a dog-friendly movie theater. No. I mean, I just saw this on my feed, and I immediately went, oh my God, this is a fucking nightmare right here. But apparently, according to Georgie Health right here, I don't know if he was trolling or just making fun of the whole thing. Again, I don't really follow the guy, but maybe he was just trolling. But when I saw this, I went, holy shit. Dog-friendly cinema screenings are the way to spend a rainy Sunday. Huh? Can you imagine the smell? Can you imagine the noise? Dogs, any dog that I've ever had, when there's a dog on the TV screen, I can't get that fucking dog to actually look at the screen. I know some people have, and I've seen videos where dogs are very well aware of a TV screen and react to it, but my God, can you imagine this? Can you imagine this? Dogs fighting with each other and everything like that? Ugh, my God. And then you're just like, I gotta go to the bathroom, or I'm gonna go get some popcorn. Squish. Oh, God damn it. Look what happened right there. Dog-friendly movie theaters, okay? I mean, it's bad enough that people are bringing dogs on airplanes. My God. I can't fly without him. He can't fly without me. I didn't know a dog needed to fly. Oh, man. A dog needs to go to a movie? What? Ugh. What is happening with society now, guys? What is happening? Ugh. It's bad enough that people are in the movie theaters. Now I got to deal with dogs? No. Ugh. Anyways, I had a rant about that a little bit when I saw that. I was like, Jesus Christ. Holy Lord. Holy Lord. Anyways. All right, let's get to the main topics here. James Gunn. All right, the first thing that everybody was talking about today was what? What's happening here? We're going to still get a second Superman movie? That is still happening? Because, did you guys forget that there's supposed to be a black Superman that's supposedly supposed to be still Clark Kent, supposed to be in Elseworlds now, produced by JJ Abrams, and I can't remember the guy who is supposed to be writing this thing. And I know there was some controversy when it came to him, and I apologize for not having that name right there. I'm sure somebody in the chat is going to let me know who that is, who is actually writing this. But yeah, I'm just kind of like going like, what? Okay, so this is still happening, because apparently, according to James Gunn, when he was asked, is the Abrams Superman Elseworlds project still in development? James Gunn said yes. That's what I think about this. Huh? Why? Why is that still a thing? Oh, let me guess. I know why. I think I know why, guys. I think I know why. If you were to say that it's not, the backlash. The backlash. That's probably why. Let's face it, guys. Warner Brothers Discovery needs to keep a good image right now. Okay? They're a studio that is desperate for anybody to help them fund their projects and all this kind of stuff because of poor management for the last, 20-something years, it seems like. Maybe the last 15, at least the last decade, for sure. They've lost a lot of money, and they need help when it comes to all this. So if they were going to actually cancel the Black Superman story, that project, they're worried about that backlash. Even though most people did not care for that. We're all about the Val Zod Superman Elseworlds story that supposedly maybe Michael B. Jordan was supposed to be developing. Everybody was like all about that because it wasn't like, oh, they're not race-bending Clark Kent. But apparently when it came to this Superman story that we were supposed to get, that was actually going to be like, oh yeah, they were just going to make Clark Kent black. They're going to race bend. And a lot of people were like, no, we're not all about that. So what is happening with this? I think it's just an image thing. They don't want to do it because there's no way. There's no way. We're going to be talking about two Batman, there's Batmen, I guess you could say, that are going to be in, there's going to be movies. There's going to be The Batman Part 2, and then, of course, Batman Brave and the Bold. They already have two Batmen. Having two Supermen, where the fuck is that money coming from? I mean, I know you guys just got Tom Cruise, and you got that Scientology money, but still, Warner Brothers is so much in debt and everything like that. There's no way. There's no way. And nobody wants this. Nobody wants this. And I even ran a poll. I ran some polls because I do that. And let's see some of the results when it comes to these polls. I ran it on YouTube, and of course I ran it on Twitter. And, I think you guys can guess the outcomes of these polls right here. So, first off, come on, Stream Deck. What are you doing to me? Go back. Go back. Hold on a sec. Sorry. My Stream Deck. Ever since I had to upgrade it, it's just not doing so good. All right, here we go. So here we got the Twitter poll right here. 81.9% says no when it comes to this JJ Abrams Superman film. And then even right here when it comes to YouTube, so we got 199 votes, and then of course we have 204. We got 86% says no, 14% says yes. Nobody wants... Oh, shit. Still had that drop up right there. Hold on. Let me fix that right there. This thing's still messing up on me. There we go. Turn that off. All right. So, yeah, nobody wants this. Nobody actually still wants this, and I don't know why. But I think it's just an image thing. I think right now when it comes to James Gunn and him trying his best to keep the image around, because, like I said, there'll probably be some backlash because it's like, how dare you cancel the Black Superman kind of thing. I don't want to get into all the politics of all that and everything and say woke and all that stuff. But I think that's kind of what's happening, right? Because it just doesn't make sense of why even have that unless it is the Michael B. Jordan Val Zod Superman. If it's a Val Zod Superman and that's completely the Elseworlds, sure, that makes sense. If you have somebody like Michael B. Jordan attached to something like that and doing the Val Zod Superman, 100% go for it. But from what we heard, this was supposed to be, not that, which is dumb. And maybe this project has turned to that. Maybe that's happened. And if that has happened, thank God. And then I'm going 100% yes, let's do that. Do that. Perfectly okay. And then, of course, you have fans out there, specifically like the fans of Snyderverse and Henry Cavill going well, why didn't they just, if they were going to do something like this, why couldn't they just have Cavill do his own thing in an Elseworlds? And it's like, well, yeah, understandable, but this thing's been in development for like 4 years, 5, I don't know how long, because JJ Abrams and Bad Robot, they got this deal to come over to Warner Brothers for $500 million, and they haven't done shit yet, but they announced this whole Superman Elseworlds thing and this random Superman, which I think was was at one point going to be like the canon of the new universe or whatever the hell, but now it's not going to be. I don't know. It's such a freaking mess. It just, I mean, if you're confused, I'm confused. We're all confused on what the hell with the regimes that have happened. I mean, I don't even know. It doesn't even make sense. But I think when it comes to at least the response from James Gunn right here, I think it's like, I'm not going to, DC Studios, Warner Brothers Discovery are like, don't respond with no. We're not, I don't see this coming, ever seeing the light of day. It's not going to go into actual production. But then again, if it's Val Zod, go ahead and do it. And yes, again, when it comes to people that are like, well, why couldn't they just do a Henry Cavill version of this? Because it's like, well, Henry Cavill was never supposed to be like an Elseworlds. That was always supposed to be, he was the main Superman, and he has a whole universe within him. And they don't want to, like, when it comes to these DC Elseworlds, like the Batman and Joker, those are very much small, contained universes right there. Let's face it, if they were to bring Cavill into that Elseworlds universe, there's a big universe right there. As much as we'd all love to see that, for sure, but definitely wasn't going to happen. So I don't know what's going on with that. And all right, so then of course we have some more things when it comes to the Superman Legacy production that's happening right here. Somebody actually, James Gunn actually talked about casting. Then a casting director, well, he was talking about casting directors, and then of course casting basically the characters in his movie. He says there's sometimes hundreds of people that they're looking at for the big roles like Star-Lord or Superman and Lois, or for difficult to cast roles like Ratcatcher 2 or Mr. Terrific and Eve. Taskmaster, obviously when it comes to like these smaller roles, sometimes a casting director will filter through those and only show the director the best ones. Other times they'll show them all. These could go through many stages: audition tape, audition in person, for the director, screen test. The casting director sets up all of that. So basically answering how everything's going when it comes to the casting direction. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but he actually posted this right here. Look at that. It's cold. So for people that think that everything about Superman Legacy is going to be shot in a studio with green screen and all this stuff, well, apparently, get that out of your head, because there are going to be certain levels of, hopefully great cinematography when it comes to actual locations when it comes to shooting Superman Legacy. And of course, naturally, people are thinking this is for the Fortress of Solitude right here. But yeah, something else that James Gunn posted right there that got people excited. And then apparently, this right here, and of course, this image right here is provided by DCU Updates. And, I suggest following them because they do a very good job when it comes to talking about all this and capturing screenshots and all this stuff like that. But according to Central Casting in Georgia, new casting for Genesis, which is actually Superman Legacy, casting a principal role for a Warner Brothers feature film, looking for boys ages 2 to 3 years old and 6 to 7 years old who appear Caucasian with dark brown black hair to work on a principal role in a feature film. Filming will take place in Atlanta, Georgia, June 24th, and blah, blah, blah. Now, what's interesting about that is James Gunn has mentioned that there is no young Clark Kent before. But maybe he was, maybe he just fluffed that, because let's face it, James Gunn, sometimes he hasn't been consistent when it comes to talking about things when it comes to this universe or his movies. So maybe there is going to be a young Clark Kent flashback, or maybe he was added. Maybe at first he was like, nah, we're not going to flash back to anything young Clark Kent, but then maybe we are. And I don't know. Maybe this has to do with something else. And then some people are actually going like, wait, they're shooting in Atlanta? It's like, yeah, guys, they're shooting in Atlanta. I think James Gunn and his connections to Marvel Studios is actually helping this movie. Yeah. Would not be surprised. I'm just saying, I would not be surprised if we don't find out that some of the studios or where they've shot some of Superman Legacy, little help from Marvel Studios. Would not be surprised. Okay, so if we find that out later, hey, you heard it here first. I won't be one of those people like, I told you so. I won't say that. But I'm just saying, but from what I heard, yeah, there might be a little bit of help if they're shooting in Atlanta and they're, we know that Marvel Studios, hey, they have a base camp in Atlanta. I mean, I would not be surprised the fact that, James Gunn using his Marvel Studios poll to maybe there was like a negotiation that happened where they're actually going to be shooting and Marvel Studios might have a little bit of a credit when it comes to Superman Legacy. Might happen there, guys. You might see that. So, all right. Oh man, there's one thing I did forget to talk about when it came to tweets, but we'll be all right. Now, when it comes to the Superman costume, the Superman Legacy costume, which we're all anxiously waiting to hear details about or see, especially, and we're all wondering when we're going to see it. And somebody did ask him on Threads on, when it came to screen tests and costume tests. Here's a screenshot right here. Did David do a wardrobe test in a different Superman costume like Henry did? Yes. Everyone who was screen tested in the previous suit, although David had a hard time fitting as he's so tall. We got to remember that. He's like 4 or 5 inches taller than Cavill, and most likely he did test in Cavill's Superman Man of Steel, or maybe it was the BVS one. Who knows? But yes, he probably did test in that costume, but it probably did not fit correctly. Probably did not fit correctly because the dude is very tall. Just like Cavill, remember we saw those awful screen tests, costume tests when it came to Cavill. We saw that when he was in the Christopher Reeve costume. It did not look good. That's just the way it is. We've seen that with Bale, with the Val Kilmer cowl and everything. So we've seen that before. So most likely he did that. But we have somebody who claims to have heard about details when it comes to the Superman Legacy costume. And I'm going to pull up the tweet right here. Let me find it. Where's it at? Oh, man, I got too many tabs open. Hold on. Did I not bring that up? I know no. Oh, shit. Maybe I didn't. Oops. Hold on a sec. I know I have it here somewhere. Give me a second here, guys. Oh, man. Oh, maybe I didn't. What? I know I did. I know I freaking had it. Where's it at? Keep going. Nope. Oh, no, I guess I didn't have it. Hold on a sec. Got all these tabs and didn't bring up... fail, Film Junkee. All right, here we go. I know I have it saved somewhere right here. Crap. Hold on a sec. I'm going to find it. Where was it? There it is right there. Okay, I found it. Don't worry. Okay, so here we go right here. Sorry about that. I thought I already had the tab open, but apparently I did not. All right, here we go. So we got Dan Marcus. Not that this matters at all, really, but I heard from a friend who is working on Legacy that the Superman suit is not going to be what we're expecting and is very curious for how fans are going to react. Take that for what you will. And he also followed it up right here by saying, I can't elaborate, but as vague as this sounds, I have a good feeling Gunn is going to deliver something really special. Whoa. What? I mean, when it comes to my thumbnail of this stream, that's just something that came off of Reddit, which is like a different kind of S, It's like, and you kind of wonder like what the S is going to, what the S is going to look like. What the S? What the F is the S gonna look like? I think that's what we're all wondering here. And then, I mean, who knows? It just seems like, some people are just kind of wondering, is it going to look like a Flesher type? I really hope so. I'm like, all right, yeah, we've had the yellow behind the S, the emblem, for so long. Put the black behind the S. Make it black behind the S, like the Flesher type of Superman costume. Do that. Let's not go too crazy. I know I got a response, I think it was from RJ, that said like, oh, what if they do the t-shirt and jeans? No, don't do that. But I'm just like, that's the thing. It's like, and then of course people are like, the trunks or no trunks, that's always going to be a thing. But I'm just like, all right, just modernize what we have here. And I don't know. It's going to be interesting. But the fact that he said that, no matter, yeah, I just like how he said, not that it matters at all. But yeah, the suit is not going to be what people are expecting. And then some people might be like, remember that one time in the comic books where they made the suit like, it looked like, he almost looked like live wire, it's like, it was like black and, he had like a silvery blue, like ice kind of looking suit. They had that, no cape. And then of course there is the black suit with no cape as well. Wouldn't that be crazy if James Gunn said, fuck the cape. Who needs a cape? We don't need a cape. It's like, well, but we need that cape porn. There's something about the cape flapping in the wind, man. I mean, Zack Snyder really created that cape porn that a lot of people like to utilize. It's like, oh, yeah, you got to keep the cape. But, man, how are we feeling about that, huh? How we feel? Are you guys, like, nervous about what's going on? I don't know. How are we feeling about that? Just let me know. Let me know what you guys are feeling about that. I'm just saying it's going to be something there. It's going to be what people are. It's not going to be. Yeah. That's what's so crazy about this. But then again, you got to take it with a grain of salt. You got to take this with a grain of salt because who knows what the hell this guy's talking about. What is he talking about? What exactly is he talking about when it comes to all this? It makes me intrigued too. I'm with you on that, Ryan. I'm with you on that. It makes me intrigued. What about the S on the cape? We talked about that on a Vodka stream, like a couple of weeks ago. We talked about that. Like, what if there is an S on the cape? It's gonna be all interesting. It's all interesting. All very interesting. Anyways, all right. So that's the main topic right there. Now we move over to the Batman Part 2. That's right, guys. The Batman Part 2. What's happening with the Batman Part 2? Am I nervous? Yes. Do I think it's still coming out? Yes. But what's going on with the Batman Part 2 when it comes to everything that's been happening? It sucks when it comes to all the regime changes and everything when it comes to Warner Brothers, and specifically when it comes to the regime changes. Because with all of that and them trying to do whatever when it comes to their main universe, they had Matt Reeves come in and do his own thing, and guess what worked? The Batman worked. The Batman made Warner Brothers money. People went out there, not everybody liked it, but most people did, and people flocked out to the movie theater and saw a fresh take of Batman. And naturally, people wanted more, okay? And then, of course, the regime changes, and naturally, they have to be like, well, we're going to create a new DCU, but we're going to have an Elseworlds category, and that's where the Batman fits. But Warner Brothers still has trouble with when it comes to at least, getting rid of that debt. So now you're going to be like, all right, especially with what I talked about previously with 2 Superman films, now you're going to have 2 Batman films as well, because you have to have one that fits in the universe, and then you're going to keep Matt Reeves over here by himself. And it's kind of interesting too, because both James Gunn and Matt Reeves have debunked anything of, a crossover happening. But who knows? It's Hollywood. It's, again, you got to keep positivity out there. You just never know. There might be some fluffing that's happening, okay? You might, Matt Reeves and James Gunn might have fluffed some things, because you cannot tell me that and I've said this before, you cannot tell me that it wasn't on the table. Like, there wasn't meetings about bringing Robert Pattinson into the DCU. So then they just have one Batman. But of course, naturally, it's like, that's probably not going to work just because of the universe that Matt Reeves created. Doesn't seem like it can fit. And I think us as fans don't want to see that. I know I don't. I really don't. But we've now, it came out in 2022, March. And here we are in 2024, almost 2 hours later, 2 months later, 2 months, geez, learn your times, Dave. 2 years later, and we have yet to hear anything about when this script is going to be ready, what's going to be happening with it. Now, naturally, there's the writer's strike. That had an effect, sure. But when you have Jeffrey Wright being asked about the Batman 2 script, and he hasn't even heard anything, Robert Pattinson hasn't heard anything, you get a little nervous. And then I kind of wonder, like, all right, well, what's happening here? And it just kind of makes you a little bit nervous. I'm hoping, and I've said this before as well, is that Matt Reeves has been writing not one script, but 2 scripts. And they actually filmed Batman 2 and 3 back-to-back or at the same time. That's what I'm hoping for. Obviously, that would probably cut expenses, that would cut the budget and everything like that. Probably be a smart way to do it. I'm really hoping that is the reason why, that he's not just writing one script, but 2 scripts. And maybe some spin-offs and whatever the hell as well. Maybe the dude is just taking his time and cooking. That's what I can only hope for. But yes, I am a little nervous. And from what I've been told is that some of the people involved, like your actors, like your main actors, like Robert Pattinson and Jeffrey Wright, they're getting a little nervous too and a little anxious. So hopefully it does happen. But yes, Jeffrey Wright did say that. And then, of course, a lot of people were naturally going like, well, maybe James Gunn is actually crushing this. And, when it comes to these 2 separate universes, it's like, yeah, James Gunn probably he's like, man, we got this other separate Batman, but I have to have a Batman. This kind of sucks. Matt Reeves probably feeling the same way. Like, yeah, you guys want to create this universe. I don't want to create the universe. It's such a rock and a hard place situation because with all the regime changes, the Batman worked. That worked very well. It worked. It made money. It made money from Warner Brothers. And then you got this new regime coming in and they want to do something different. And it's all just a little bit of a shit show. But what's kind of funny too is what I've seen on Twitter, online, is the fact of the matter is it's like, that lovely loud side of the Snyder fandom that of course hates everything that is not Zack Snyder DC. I've actually seen tweets where they are desperately hoping, they are so hoping that James Gunn gets rid of Matt Reeves' Batman, because then they're like, oh man, we're gonna join forces with the Batman fandom, we're just to take on and to bitch about James Gunn. Like, I've seen these tweets, like these certain fans who are only fans of one specific kind of Batman. They've trashed the Batman. They've trashed Matt Reeves' Batman for 2 years. But now they're like, you know what? If James Gunn gets rid of Matt Reeves' Batman, we're going to join forces with the Batman fans and we're going to bitch about it online. We're going to pound our keyboards really hard because that's all they're doing. I mean, they make it sound, it's just funny when I see these tweets. I'm like, these are grown adults? They make it sound like there's an actual war happening? Like, now it's like because they hate James Gunn so much that they're going to join forces to a different Batman fandom that they were talking shit about for 2 years. And now they're like, we're going to join forces and take on James Gunn. Seriously, log off. You got to log off. It's cape shit. It's not real life. Fictional characters like Ben Affleck said and Jay and Silent Bob. Guys, seriously, I've seen the tweets. And I'm kind of going like, maybe they're not serious, and maybe they aren't, but I think some of them are. It's like, oh boy, it's so crazy. It's so crazy, but that's just the way it is. Fandom, you gotta love fandom, right? We take this shit way too seriously, and I'm willing to bet too that some of these guys that tweet like this and talk like this, the real life people, the real life relationships and jobs and everything like that have no idea. They have no idea what's happening online with them because it's like a whole other persona. It's crazy. Absolutely nuts. All right. Come on. There we go. Let's talk about some box office. I mean, yeah, all I'm saying, guys, is just like what you like, but my God, it's not a war. It really isn't a war. Anyways, let's talk about some box office. Now, the box office this weekend didn't really have anything. It's January. I mean, naturally, there's not going to be much that's going to be coming out there. I mean, there was that ISS movie that came out, but I think we all knew that that wasn't really going anywhere. I didn't even see any TV spots or nothing. Again, it's January. Sometimes they just put these movies in there too. So when it comes to the box office, here's what it looks like right here. It seems like Mean Girls, even though like it, it didn't look that great to me, it seems like it is still making a splash because it was number one again, and it did make it made some money, and then of course it's at $66.2 million, and I do love the fact that David Ayer's The Beekeeper is still second place, $75.4 million. I'm wondering what the budget is in that, and I think he did a great job with that and everything. And Wonka's still doing pretty well, too, when it comes to that, crossing the $500 million mark when it comes to worldwide. But the big thing, guys, was Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Now, I don't even see it. Where's it at right here? Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Is it even on this right here? Well, I mean, I will look at Godzilla -1, almost at $100 million worldwide. Hopefully it does make that, but I'm not even seeing Aquaman right here. Scrolling. Where are you at, Aquaman? Oh, there it is. Okay. So Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, almost at $400 million worldwide. 397.6. Okay. So let's type in Black Adam. What did Black Adam make? Oh, 393.4. The hierarchy changed yet again, guys. That's right. Aquaman passed Black Adam. And why? Again, China. They love Jason Momoa, apparently. Kind of makes you wonder. Black Adam released in China. How much would it have made? Would it have crossed $500 million? Might have. I would not be surprised. But that's the reason why. It's because of China. Because China likes their Jason Momoa, and China is helping Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Not helping a lot. Not helping as much as Warner Brothers would like, but it is kind of crazy that, yeah. I mean, it just seemed like, when it came to the 4 DCEU movies that were coming out this year, it was like, is any one of them going to pass Black Adam? So everybody was making the jokes about the hierarchy, kind of like, definitely did change because Black Adam made more money. But here we go right here. We got Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom past that. And now you can actually digitally download Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. I'm not sure when it's going to be showing up on Max, but I know you can actually digitally download the movie and actually watch it right now. So, hey, do yourself a favor, watch it. Watch, like I said, the second act, in my opinion, the second act is the strongest when it comes to all of that, because that seems like that's what James Wan was going for. First act and the final act, not so much. So, good luck with that. Christopher Reeve. All right, so the children of Christopher Reeve. Obviously, we have a new documentary called Superman that's about their dad and talking about Christopher Reeve and his whole career and everything that he's done. Because, we always, when it comes to Christopher Reeve, we're always going to recognize Christopher Reeve as the first Superman, the first live-action Superman. That's what he's going to be best known for. But when it comes to his children and when it comes to this doc, they're going to be talking about more than that. Like, they don't even consider Superman being his best role, and they're absolutely correct. I think when it comes to other movies that Christopher Reeve has been in, it's not his best role. It's just it's just something that put him on the map. It put him on the map, and he even wanted to really take the role somewhere. But, you know, sadly, when you have a studio involved, it's like you can't really do much more with that. But there was something that came out over the weekend that a lot of people were talking about, and it is kind of like yikes, because you kind of go like, all right, did the children of Christopher Reeve, did they actually watch? Did they watch The Flash? Did they hear about The Flash? What did they do? And apparently they did not. They did not, and they weren't even like, they didn't really even give their input when it came to that. I mean, I guess the approval actually happened, and a lot of people were making it sound like the approval didn't happen, but of course, the estate of Christopher Reeve, it did happen. But here it is right here. From Variety right here. Christopher Reeve's children never watched The Flash Cameo, say he'd choose Remains of the Day over Superman as the film that he's most proud of. So obviously we have the children right here talking about this. And I must say this dude, his son right here, man, he looks like he could play Superman. I don't know about you guys. I don't know about you guys, but he looks like he could play Superman. So here's some of the things they had to say right here.
Roles of his that you think are underappreciated that you would like people to
I'll
know?
speak to that. In our hometown of Bedford, New York, just outside the city, the
Will Reeve.
local
There you
movie
go.
theater
Watch
went
this
through a
right here. I have
rebrand a
to
few years
actually go to
ago.
the
It was
bathroom
the
real
theater
quick.
that I used to go to the movies with my friends and with my parents and see whatever was on, and they have rebranded it into an art house cinema. And the person in charge of that shift reached out to me and said, "Hey, Will, if you're ever like in the area, or if you want to be in the area, we would love to have you screen a film of your choice, of your dad's, and like we'll invite people, and maybe you could say some words before and after the screening." And I responded, "Sure, but not Superman. We're going to do Remains of the Day." He was so proud of his role in Remains of the Day. It's not a big role. It's an important role to the film, but it's not big. But he got to show a completely different side of himself. I think he shot it the year that I was born, or it came out the year I was born, 1992. And I knew how proud he was of that. Not that he wasn't proud of Superman, not that we're not proud of all the work that he did, but just knew as I thought about it, like, oh, if he were here, he would say, no, we're not doing Superman, we're going to do Remains of the Day. So that's how I went. And actually, Jim Ivory, the writer of, and I think he also directed it, lived in the area and came just because he heard it was happening and was like, I'd like to get on stage with you and talk about.
So yeah, that's them just going like, yeah, not about Superman, but when it comes to when they were asked about it right here, and this is the paragraph right here, Reeve's children were asked about their thoughts on their father's appearance in last year's Warner Brothers comic book tentpole The Flash. The studio controversially used CGI to recreate his likeness for a cameo in which his iteration of Superman is spotted by Ezra Miller's Flash out in the multiverse. None of them watched The Flash, and they did not have involvement in that cameo. Nope. Is that like a yikes thing, or do we understand? I don't know. It's such a weird thing. It's such a weird thing. Like when it comes to all that, it's like it's such a weird thing. Because the way I look at it, it's like, okay, obviously there had to be some kind of approval when it came to using his likeness from the Reeve estate. But then it kind of makes you wonder, it's like, all right, if they didn't care or they didn't, whatever the hell, I don't know. It's just a very strange thing to use somebody's likeness when it comes to all this. And I can understand that they didn't want to watch it. They probably seen images. I would not be surprised in this day and age of like social media and everything. Somebody have probably sent them the images. They've probably seen the images, but they've not watched the movie. And I totally get that. And it's just kind of interesting because it just makes you wonder when it comes to the decisions that were made with that whole multiverse concept of all the different iterations of these characters. It's like, what were they actually, and as much as like I dug, like especially the Nicolas Cage one, but then you even heard Nicolas Cage talk about how, the stuff that he did for the movie was not what showed up in the movie. I don't know. There's so many different things. There's just so many different things when it comes to The Flash, and it makes you wonder, like, what were they thinking when they decided to do all of that? And they were like, you know what? In order for the Flash movie to be made, we have to do this crazy multiverse thing and have to have these different versions of the characters and everything like that. I don't know. It's all weird because I didn't have a problem with it, but at the same time, I felt like the movie didn't need those. As much as I loved the Nicolas Cage taking on the big giant spider that John Peters wanted, I just didn't. I was like, maybe the story didn't need that. And I was going, does this even make sense? You know? And I've questioned that anytime I've seen that scene, because I do really enjoy the Flash movie, but not with the whole multiverse cameos. Like, I enjoy the movie entirely, but not just because there's like these crazy multiverse cameos that are digitally put in there. Like, I get why they're there, but I almost go, did it really need to be there? Did it really need to be there? You know? It's interesting. That's what's interesting to me when it comes to all that. I'm sure they didn't mind. Like, they didn't, like when it came to Variety asking the children, like, oh, did you like care for that? They didn't like shit on it. They just were like, we really had no involvement and we haven't seen it. Not that big of a deal. Not that big of a deal. But it just kind of makes you ask the question of like, was that really needed in the Flash movie? And that's what I've been kind of like asking myself every time. I've watched it like 4 times. And again, I enjoy the movie, but I just kind of go like, the multiverse cameos, did we really need those in there? I don't think we did. Honestly. I think they were cool. Like, specifically the Nicolas Cage one, I thought that was the coolest one. But everybody else, I don't know if we actually really needed that. But anyways, there you go. That's my little spiel on that. Sorry, I drank a lot of water before this, and I was like, all right, when I play the video, I'm gonna head to the bathroom. So I disappeared for a minute there because I was doing my pee-pee dance, man. I was like, I messed up. I didn't go to the bathroom before I started the stream. So, but now we're good. We're good. We're grand. We're great. So, all right, let's go to Twitter questions and see what you guys. And then I'm gonna talk about something that I forgot to talk about when it came to the tweets. But we'll go to the Twitter questions first before we do that. All right, here we go. Twitter questions. Eric, so here's the thing. Well, I'm not particularly excited about the JJ Abrams, mainly because of Ta-Nehisi Coates. That's his name. I couldn't remember his name. Writing it, I'm very eager to see someone ask Gunn about the Michael B. Jordan one next. What are the odds someone will? And he'll answer. Hopefully he will. Plus, lest we forget, Gunn did say he talked with Cavill about the future, so maybe the idea of more Elseworlds beyond Batman and Joker does lead to endless possibilities. And I mean, we can only hope that maybe something will happen when it comes to Cavill in the future. Cooper Knox, do you think Zack Snyder should go ahead and make his own Fountainhead, just like how he made Rebel Moon out that Star Wars pitch? Yeah, but I mean, like, Rebel Moon came about in the 80s. It was inspired by Star Wars, and then he turned it into a Star Wars pitch. If you're going to make Fountainhead, you got to make it like the book. You got to adapt the book. So I think he probably wants to full-on adapt the book. Darkness Under the Wind. Dave, question number 1. Could the only thing negative happen to the Batman Part 2 is a delay, since the last one did very well and not an axe of his universe? Yeah, but that's the thing. It's getting delayed so much. I mean, again, come March, we're coming in a couple months, and it's been 2 years. 2 years since the original movie comes out, and we haven't even heard about a script. The script hasn't been released to the actors. That's the thing I have to worry about. Now, I'm all about Matt Reeves taking his time. I just hope that the reason why he's taking his time is because he has a script for not just Batman 2, but Batman 3 and spin-offs. Question number 2, would you like to see the crime syndicate in the beginning of the second saga of the DCU, and Lex helps the League take them down in exchange, is released from prison and gets involved with politics, setting up the not a bad story. I mean, that could be a cool storyline right there. Probably won't happen, but, not too shabby. Mr. Nobody, hey, Dave, I'd like to see an Elseworlds Superman film with JJ Abrams, Michael B. Jordan as Cal Zod. I think Val Zod, not Cal Zod. But, I think we all would like to see that. I don't think Gunn will have multiple Supermen, Batman, etc., but make an exception for B-level characters. I do like the new Superman suit, but looks too futuristic. Need to full look at... Okay, you saw the new Superman suit? What? I'm just kidding. But I see what you're saying. Hey, Dave, did you hear about the news about DC characters in public domain? Can you tell me what that means? Do you have a favorite scene? Well, yeah, I did a whole video last week talking about that article that came out when it came to that. And we talked about it on the Vodka stream as well, where it's just like, that's going to happen. It's going to be a public domain. Nobody has to worry about it. James Gunn's not worried about it, but I think Warner Brothers was like, that's why one of the reasons why they were like, hey man, announce your new DCU before that all happens. So, favorite scene from Avatar 2 for me, it's the final battle was pretty good on the ship boat thing, whatever the hell. Yeah, that was good. With everything looked good. And what day the trailer from? I don't know when the John Wick ballerina trailer comes out, but I'm looking forward to that for sure. What does that say? Okay, just making sure. Kenny, all right, Kenneth, for Superman, I'm all for having the S on the back of his cape in both comic books and different types of Superman media. We sadly have not had that in recent Superman live actions. You're absolutely correct. Hopefully that changes in Superman Legacy. Yeah, we talked about that on the Vox stream not too long ago, but when it comes to the S on the back of the cape, I think maybe sometimes it felt like it was a little too much, like it was a little too much branding, mainly. When it came to Superman Returns, they didn't have it on there, but they had the S on the belt, the makeshift belt, which I don't think they should put the S down there on the belt. And then, of course, when it came to Cavill Superman, didn't have that either. And yeah, I think, maybe it can be a little bit too much. Because it's like, oh yeah, it's like Superman's branding, or whatever the hell. But if they can make it work, they can make it work. If they don't, they don't. I'm like one of those, when it comes to the S on the cape, it really doesn't matter to me. It really doesn't matter to me. I'm more concerned about the trunks or no trunks. If they put the S on the back of the cape, I'm like, whatever. Trunks, I'm like, put the trunks, or at least make the trunks work. Make the trunks work well, but who knows if it's going to work well. Anyways, guys, all right. Oh, yeah. Before we end here, I did want to talk about, and I forgot to mention this in the tweets right here. New poster for Godzilla Kong. That's right. And the whatever the hell Empire. There it is right there. This came out last night, and it's just like, all right, there it is. That looks like a UFC poster, I guess. I don't know. And what's on display big time is that King Kong has a crazy gauntlet that's happening right there. So, wow. There we go, guys. How are we feeling about this poster right here? It's not that great, sure, but at the same time, you know what? There's nothing that wrong with it. We got a masterpiece earlier this year. That was Godzilla -1. It's a fucking masterpiece. It is. It was Godzilla back to the roots. It was a filmmaker that was like, I'm going to bring it back to the roots, but also modernize it. And he nailed it. He absolutely nailed it. We can have that, and everybody's enjoying it, and it just keeps on making the money that it should. And God knows what's going to happen with sequels. But we can have both. We can have the ridiculousness that we saw on that poster with King Kong, with a gauntlet, with something. That's going to be interesting how they explain that. We can have both. We can have both King Kong and Godzilla running towards, I guess, the big baddie that we see his eyes in this poster. We can have both. We can have both. But my God, when you see that, especially since I've been watching a lot of crazy B-roll movies. I'm like, oh my God, this is the B-roll Godzilla and Kong. Somebody needs to come in from Japan to make a King Kong movie, to make a masterpiece like -1. Maybe that'll happen, but we can have both. Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, whoa, buddy, woo. But then at the same time, it's like, why is he wearing that gauntlet thing? Who put that on him? I guess we're going to find out. It's going to be some kind of human character thing or whatever. I don't know. All right, guys, let's go ahead and wrap up this stream. Appreciate you guys spending some time with me. Always fun. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit that like, thumbs up. Hit that notification bell so you know when I'm doing this stuff. Share the stream. Good. I did actually stream on Twitter for the first time. I think that worked. I don't know. I don't know if it worked, but I know I was like, all right, I'm going to try doing that this time. So if you watched on Twitter, thank you. Retweet it or repost it, whatever the hell Elon has when it comes to all that. But yeah, follow me on all the sock meds around me. If you want to support the channel, become a member. We'll have a members only stream Wednesday unless craziness happens. I've been toying with bringing back just a regular Film Junkie live on Wednesday. It might happen, who knows. But as of right now, we'll keep it members only. But you know, like I said, if crazy news happens, I will go back to the normal stuff. But so members, I'll see you then. If you want to support the Patreon, like I said, I'm trying to do some more stuff and some early access stuff on the Patreon. So go ahead and do all that. And that's about it, guys. Love ya. And I will talk to you later.